Hello friends, welcome to our channel CSRevision and Notes. A channel is solving problems related to computer science for UGC NET exam. So today we'll take a problem. This is related to distance vector routing algorithm. Now see, consider a computer network using the distance vector routing algorithm in its network layer. The objective is to find the shortest path from router R to router P and Q. So there's a router R and another routers are there, that is P and Q. Now we have to find out the shortest path from the router R to the other routers P and Q. Now assume that R does not initially know the shortest routes to P and Q. So first they do not know the shortest routes. So assume R has three neighboring routers. So they're given that R has three neighboring routers, that is X, Y and Z. During one iteration, R measures its distance as 3, 2 and 5 from its neighbors X, Y and Z respectively. So R distance from R to its neighbors. So X, Y and Z are neighbors of R. So what is the distance? The distance is 3, 2 and 5. Next we have router R getting routing vectors from its neighbors. So router R will get the routing vectors from its neighbors. So X, Y and Z as neighbors. So it indicates that it has a distance of 7, 6 and 5. That is from router X, Y and Z to router P. Similarly, the routing vector also indicates that a distance to router Q from routers X, Y and Z. So the neighbors X, Y and Z, the distance to router Q is 4, 6 and 8 respectively. So this is the data given. Which of the following statements are true with respect to the new routing table at router R after updation during this iteration? So they are given the options. First let us see how to solve the problem. See, this is the router R and then X, Y, Z as neighbors. So they are connected to the distances 3, 2 and 5. Next P and Q are the other routers. So you have to find the distance from R to P and Q. So here I have written the distances from R to X, Y and Z, that is 3, 2 and 5. And then from P to X, Y and Z and from Q to X, Y and Z I have written here the distances. So X to P is 7, X to Q is 4, Y to P is 6 and Y to Q is 6 and Z to P is 5 and Z to Q is 8. So we have the distances. Now first in the distance vector routing table, first we'll draw the initial routing table. So we'll draw the initial routing table for R because the question is about the R only. So we need to write the draw the routing table for R alone. It is enough. So first for the initial routing table, so R nearest neighbors is X, Y and Z. So you write the nodes, that is in the network it has R, X, Y, Z and P and Q. So we write the nodes R, X, Y, Z and P and Q. So what is the distance? The distance from R to R is 0, from R to X is 3, from R to Y is 2, R to Z is 5. Similarly, next stop will be what? Next stop will be R, X, Y, Z. Next for P and Q, so we don't have a direct path, so we write the distance as infinity and we don't write the next stop. So the initial routing table for R is complete. So this is the initial routing table. Next we write the updated routing table. So updated routing table means we have to update the distances of P and Q through the neighbors X, Y and Z. So the table remains the same, that is R, X, Y, Z, the distances and the next stop remains the same. Now we have to find out the value, that is the distance and next stop for P and Q alone. So from R to P, first take from distance from R to P. So R to P can travel through X, Y or Z. So try each of the distances. See, R to P can, if we travel through X, so R to X and X to P. So what is the distances? R to X is 3, X to P is 7. So 3 plus 7 is 10. Next R to through Y. So R to Y is 2 and Y to P is 6. So 2 plus 6 it is 8. Next from R to P through Z means R to Z is 5 and then Z to P is 5. So we have the total distance as 10. So from these three distances, that is you are reaching R to P. we have x, y or z. So which distance will take? This is the minimum distance only you have to take. So among 10, 10 and 8, the minimum distance is 8. So we choose this distance. So we update the updated routing table. We update the value of distance from R to P as 8 and write the next stop as what we'll write? We'll write as Y because it is through Y we are traveling. So next stop will be Y. Similarly, for R to Q. See, for R to Q, similarly, when you have to travel from R to Q, you travel through X. So when you travel to X, the value is from R to X is 3 and X to Q is 4. So 3 plus 4, that is 7. Next, from R to Q, R to Y and Y to Q, it is 2 plus 6, that is 8. Next, R to Z and Z to Q, it is 5 plus 8, that is 13. So among 7, 8 and 13, the smallest one is, least one is 7. So you choose this distance, write updated in the updating routing table for R, write the distance from R to Q as 7 and the next stop as X. So through X only you get the minimum distance. So update the next stop as X. So this is how we write the initial routing table and updated routing table. I will see the problem. So in the problem they asked, the options are given as the distance from R to P would be stored as 10, distance from R to Q would be stored as 7. The next hop router for a packet from R to P is Y. Next hop router for a packet from R to Q is Z. So as we have found out the update routing table, we have the values here. That is from R to Q, you have the value as distance is 7 and the next hop is X. So this is distance. This is the distance and then this is the next hop. Okay, so this is the distance and this is the next hop. So we can find out for J statements, we can find out this is true or false. The distance from R to P, be stored as 10. So it is, value is 8. So this is wrong. Distance from R to Q may be stored as 7. So this is right. It is correct. The next hop router for a packet from R to P. Next hop router from packet from R to P. Next hop is Y. Correct. We have found out the next hop is Y. So this is correct. Next hop router for a packet from R to Q is Z. No, it is false because next hop is X. So find that these statements B and C are correct. So the answer will be the first option, that is B and C only. So this is a UGC June 2023 question. So if you have an idea about distance vector routing, so it will be very useful to know how to write the initial routing table and the updated routing table. Thank you.